Hi everybody, it's Crystal. So welcome to my channel. Are you guys ready for a yarn review? I'm ready to show you a yarn review. But first off, I have to say that my yarn reviews are based on opinion only. My opinion doesn't really matter, but I do yarn reviews because people ask me to. So I just tell you about the yarn, you know, wash and dry test, all that kind of stuff, you know, and then I just tell you at the end my personal thoughts of how I feel about the yarn myself personally. And my thoughts do not align with everybody else's. So remember that. It's just an opinion-based review. And just because I like it or don't like it doesn't mean that you will or won't. So I always recommend that you just buy one, regardless of what I say, whether I like it or not, and give it a go. Because it could be the best yarn, or the worst that you ever tried. So that being said, and it's going to be a good one, I can already tell you. So today I'm reviewing the Caron, from Yarn Inspirations, Colorama Halo. Now this is not a new yarn. This actually came out last year, but it was in the Ogo form, you know, that donut looking thing with a hole in it. And I have reviews of that when it came out last year. And in that video I said that I liked the yarn a lot, but if it was in a cake form, I think that I would like it a lot more and it would probably sell better. Well, this year they brought it out in cake form, and they also have new colors. So I do have all the colors, and I want to go over them, and I'm going to show you what it looks like knitted up, and I'm going to show you what it looks like crocheted up, and then I did a wash and dry test on it and everything. So let's put it through the ringer. Do you want to? All right, let me move some of my desk is messy. It's my organized chaos. All right, so I got mine at joann's.com. So online Joann's, I ordered mine. That's where mine came from. Do they have it in stores? Probably in select stores. That I don't know. So at the making of the video, which is 6/6/2023, these are on sale for $9.59 a cake, but originally they are $11.99. So why don't we go over the specs real quick of the Caron Colorama Halo, and we'll talk about it. So it's classified as a bulky number 5. Now I think the classification is fine. I would say that it's more like a 4. I think that they're giving it that bulky 5 classification because look, if you look close, you can see the fuzz hanging off of it. That's what they consider. That's what a halo is on yarn when it has fuzz hanging off of it. So I think they're taking that in consideration when they're classifying that as a bulky 5. But it is a very nice thick 4, and that fuzz is not itchy at all. These are very, very soft. If you're familiar with Caron latte cakes, I cannot say that they are the same as them. Latte cakes are like a silky, if you've ever felt them, they're like a silky soft. They got the fuzz on it, but it's like silky. This is very soft, but it's not silky feeling. But it's still extremely soft and would make very, very nice garments and things like that. It's a very beautiful yarn. So let's get back to that. So, and it is machine washable and dryable, both on gentle cycles. So wash on gentle and dry on gentle. It's 71 acrylic, 18 nylon, and 11 polyester. It is made in China, and there are 8 ounces, 227 grams, 481 yards, or 440 meters. So that is the, oh, we'll do the recommendations here. Knitting needle recommendation is a 6 millimeter, and crochet hook recommendation is a 6 millimeter as well, and that is what I would have chose to use. So when this came out last year, they only had it in these. This is what everybody considers ombre and gradient. Different. It's different to each person. I consider this an ombre, where it goes from dark to light, or vice versa, with no visible color change. And it's very, very hard to find a good ombre. Right now, I think the best on the market, if I didn't count this one, would be Red Heart Super Saver. Their ombre. They have a pretty nice ombre. but it does, but you can't see the color changes in it, but it's still nice. These are nice. Now, they do have the fuzz on them, as you can see, but it is not at all itchy. That's what gives it the name Halo. The ombre effect on these is absolutely stunning, and I'm going to show you a piece of it worked up in its entirety, and you can see that you will be able to see no visible change from light to dark. There will be no lines that separate at all. It's like a non-stop dark to light, and you can't even tell it. It's so gradual. It's a remarkable ombre. So this color here is called Rose Frost that I have in my hand. They have 19 colors altogether. I think 10 of them are ombres, and then they have 9 that are gradient looking. This one right here is called Rosemary. So they had these last year, but they were in the Ogo form. It's very pretty green. And then we have Blue Stone Frost. Very pretty ombre. Goes from the blue to the white. Or the really light blue. And this one is Graphite Frost, gray to white. So gradual you probably won't even notice the color change. A Lavender Frost, purple to white. Let's put them here. This one's called Orchid Frost, so it's a little different than the rose. You can see there, it's more purple than the Rose Frost. Okay, and then we have this blue, which is called a Skylight Frost. They got a lot of different. Let's put it next to the Blue Stone, and you can see there is a little bit, there we go, of a difference. This is a more of a blue versus a, I don't know, different color of blue. Let's see. I just showed you that one. There's so many. I love this one. I think this one is absolutely gorgeous. This is Beeswax Frost. It might be my favorite of color of the ombres. Maybe. There's a lot of pretty ones. This one's beautiful. And then this one could be my favorite as well. You know I like brown. Nutmeg Frost. So it goes from brown to a light brown there at the end. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. And then they have one more ombre here. This is another blue, and it's called Harbor Frost. So let me put these blues together so you can see the difference in them. They are somewhat similar. There's 3 different blues, but you can't see a difference. This one's my favorite. Dark, medium, and more teal, I guess. So the Harbor is the more teal one. I guess teal blue. I don't know. And then there's these 2. And this was Blue Stone, and this one was Skylight. So, okay. And then those colors, most of those they had last year. They might have a few new ones, but I think most of those, but they were Ogo form. Okay, so now they have what I would consider a gradient. Other people might consider it an ombre. It just depends on who you ask. But I consider these gradients when they have different colors, but yet they still gradually change into one another. So here's some of their gradient colors. This one is called Ivy and Olive. Oh, it's pretty. That is an olive green in the middle, in case you can't tell. And it goes to a cream to a blue. I'm not sure why they're calling it Ivy, because that's not green. That is pretty blue, but it's very pretty. So there's that one. And then we have this one. All the colors are just outstanding. Rose Garden. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Darker pink to light pink. And this is a bluish color green. If you can tell from my camera, it's a little lighter right here than what it's showing up on camera, but it's still very pretty. This one is Just different colors of blue. Well, this is kind of periwinkle in the middle. I don't know why it's not showing up well. I think maybe it's my lighting. No. Back here. It's like a periwinkle color. And then it goes off to a light to a medium blue. It's called ultramarine. And then we have this one, which I think is super beautiful. Tin and tan. That pretty much gets it down to a T. It's tan and then it goes to gray. So, I mean, it's very beautiful. That might be one of my favorites of the gradients. This one's absolutely beautiful too. Magenta and mandarin. Yeah, it's a very appropriate name. We got the oranges here, a light orange, and then kind of the purple magenta around the outside. This one, I keep saying each one's gorgeous. They are all pretty. I don't think there's not one color that I don't like. Blue raspberry, very pretty. Purple to blue. Well, purple and a slope to pink to another purplish, then out to blue. And then we got this one, which is called Sea and Sky. So here's the difference between these two. Blues are very similar. This one is more green, although you probably can't see it on my screen for some reason. More greenish color than this one is more blue. Okay, I'm almost done with the colors. Okay, I think I got, let's see, this one's super pretty. I really like this one a lot. Amber Ocean. That's cool. That's a beautiful amber color in the middle and out to a beautiful blue. This is very pretty. I did buy multiples of this color because I want to make something bigger out of it, possibly a sweater or something for this fall. So I thought that one was gorgeous, and this one as well is super beautiful. Beet red. And I bought multiples of this color. Oh, that's so pretty. Pretty, pretty. Red out to almost like a mauve color out to the end gradient. And then I bought multiples of the tin tan. So these three are my favorite when it came to the gradients. But every color that they have is gorgeous. And when you look on their site, it's going to appear that a couple of them look solid, but none of them are solid. The ones that look solid are actually ombre. Now let me show you what they look like worked up. So this is one of the ombres worked up on the knitting machine. This is a full cake in its entirety. Now I didn't tie it off because I want to be able to wind it back up into a cake and use it again. So if you look at it, this is the center where it started dark and then it goes to light. You won't be able to see a visible line between the color changes because it's so gradual. Tell me that is not one of the best looking ombres as far as color change that you've ever seen. To me, it is the best that I've ever seen as far as a gradual color change. You cannot see no visible line in that color change. They did it so gradually. They were able to make the color change perfect to where you can't see no line at all. It's just seamless in the color change. And I've never seen an ombre virtually seamless like this. Now, and when you look at it, you can see the fuzz on it. That's why it's got its name Halo. So that's the halo on it. It's very soft yarn. Like I said, I didn't tie it because I'm going to cake it back up and use it, but it's very pretty and it's very soft. Now here is one of the gradients, which really surprised me because it came out virtually seamless as well, even though it has multiple colors, not the same color of yarn in it. So this was the tin tan. This was this one. So it started out brown in the middle. I did tie this one off because this is the one I put in the washer and dryer. You see that? This is the gradient looking cakes. And even though it started in brown and it ended in gray, it's really virtually not much of a color change. It is very gradual. Look at that. That is an excellent job Caron did with this yarn. I think it's as far as color changing goes, and it being pretty close to being seamless, especially these gradients that have the multiple colors in them. They were able to make it virtually seamless. Now, if you look at this one close up, I did put this into the washer and the dryer as per instructions say. And if you look at it closely, I'm going to take it under the light bigger. You can see that the fuzzies got a little bit more fuzzy. Now, when I was doing these on my knitting machine, there were no fuzzies flying off or anything like that. So it wasn't like shedding or anything like that. I'm going to shut the camera off. I'm going to take it into my bright room and do a close-up, and I can show you the difference between the wash and the dry, okay? All right, so my light's a little brighter in here, so I can show you a little bit better. So this one has not been put through the washer or the dryer, and then this one has. Both are very soft, and it really it got softer after I put it in the washer and the dryer. And it was gentle, wash on gentle and dry on gentle. So that's what I did. So it is softer now, but it was soft before, so I can't say really anything about that. But you can see that it did get a little bit more fuzzy after the dryer. Let me get you to a color maybe you can see better. So I think just by looking, it got a little bit more fuzzy after it came out of the dryer. You see that? Versus before the dryer. It's just not quite as fuzzy. So you see all that white, that's all the halo on it. Fuzzed up a bit more than what it had before. Now that doesn't bother me. I think it's still really pretty. I personally would hand wash these though, because I hand wash and lay flat everything that I make. So if you don't mind it getting a little bit more fuzzy, it could get worse over time the more times you wash it and dry it. But now the fuzzies on it, you can pull on them, and some, like very few will come off if you pull on them, but not really a lot. So if you're wearing it, it's not like there's not going to be fuzzies flying away or anything like that. Even coming out of the dryer, like this one right here, and the fuzzies have gotten a lot more fuzzy. If you pull hard, of course, some's going to come off, but barely. I mean, so it's not going to be, like I said, it's not going to fly off at you when you're walking around. I don't see any problem with the fuzz whatsoever. It is so soft now after it came out of the dryer, and I think it being a bit more fuzzy makes it look even cooler actually. But I like it both ways. I think it's a gorgeous yarn. It's so soft and it's so pretty. It would make such a nice snuggly blanket, sweaters, hats, anything for baby, of course. I think the possibilities would be endless for a yarn like this. Now down here at this gray, you can't really see the fuzzies fuzzing up a lot because it's the gray color. But down here on the brown, you can see that it did it did fuzz up a lot more out of the dryer versus the one before the dryer. You see that? This one's gotten a lot more fuzzier, but that's okay. Like I said, they're not coming off, so you don't have to worry about losing fuzz while you're walking. Okay, so that's what they look like knitted up. That's what they look like before the washer and after the washer. Okay, so crocheting with it, I am using the recommended hook size of a J. You can see that I did do some bobbles and some double crochets, and you can see the bobbles through the fuzz. So this yarn is going to be very forgiving because it does have the fuzz. I think the bobbles show up well. Some special stitches, maybe like cables and stuff, might not show up as well, but I still think they will show up good enough that I would probably still use this if I was going to make a cable sweater. I don't think that I would let the fuzzies deter me from that, because sometimes fuzzy yarns like this, they won't show the stitches, you know. But I think that it's going to show them well enough that it wouldn't be a waste of time if you wanted to make a cable sweater or something like that. Now, crocheting with it is not hard. I have noticed a few fuzzies flyaways crocheting with it. Like I said, there was none when I used it on my knitting machine. But crocheting with it, you know, just a few come off here and there. Nothing like horrible that would make me not want to buy it. And it does every once in a while get hung up on the white string that the fuzzies are stuck to. There's that white strand that's separate from the main color there. Every once in a while I get hung up on that, but again, nothing that I can't handle or nothing that would make me not want to buy it. But the question is, will it come undone? Oh, sorry. And I used the light side of my work there. Oh, that's pretty. I like it. Let's see how well it comes undone. So with them fuzzies, a lot of the times yarns like this will get hung up on themselves, but as you can see, they did not at all. Comes out perfect. All right, let me go back and we'll talk about some final thoughts. All right, so you saw it, all the colors, all of them, extremely beautiful in my eyes, 19 of them. You saw it worked up, the ombre one, seamless. You saw the gradient ones, pretty much. I don't know how, but they looked pretty. That one looked pretty much seamless as well. Very beautiful as well. They're super soft, and even though, you know, when I was crocheting with it, I had a few flyaways. It was nothing I couldn't handle. It came undone well. It's soft. Like I said, it does say bulky 5, but I would consider it maybe, you know, a thicker 4. But if you take that fuzz into account, it's probably a bulky 5. I really like it a lot, but I really liked it a lot last time. And I'll tell you what, I like it even more now because a cake form is my favorite way to use yarn. I didn't like the Ogo form, but I liked the yarn last time. And they brought these gradients in, and they're so well done, just as good as the ombres. They're absolutely stunning. So price wise, yarn is always worth what you will pay for it. Now they're $11.99 on a regular price. Is it worth that in today's pricing? I have to say yes, because everything has gone up so much, and that's about what Caron cakes run. So yeah, you know, that's about what they are. But Joann's always has sales. You can always get this stuff like 25% off, and sometimes even more. So I personally probably wouldn't, I would pay full price for it because I don't think they're out of line asking $12 for it, considering how much yarn is nowadays. That's just what it is. Plus, it's just the most beautiful ombre with no visible color change that I've ever seen in any yarn. And it's soft. I like the fuzzy of it. I mean, I like halos on my yarn, and it doesn't get tangled up, and it's easy to crochet with. It looks magnificent. The gradients even look magnificent. So I like it a lot, and like I said, I would pay the $12.99 if I really wanted it bad enough and it wasn't on sale. But always try to get it on sale if you can. So just like the last time I reviewed this, it's going to get very high marks for me, and it's going to get even better this time because it's cake form, and they came out with these beautiful gradients, and I think even a few more colors of ombre if I can remember right. So for me, I'll definitely buy it again. I bought, like I said, I already bought extras of some of them that I have some fall projects in mind that I want to use this for. It's the best gradual changing, slow gradual changing ombre and gradient that I have seen, that I can even really think of at the moment on the market. That's a 4 or 5 weight yarn, and it's just extremely beautiful. I can't say that enough. But remember, these are only based on my own personal opinions, and they can be different from yours because I don't always like the same yarns that everybody else likes, and I'm surely people don't like the same yarns that I do. But it has everything going for me that I like, and I think it's great. I'll definitely buy it again, and I highly recommend it. If you like yarns with halos like this, and you're looking for a good ombre or a good gradient, these are spectacular. Yes, good marks from me. It gets high points. Yeah, I'd buy it again. It's Bagoday approved. But just buy one if you're not sure and give it a go, because you know it could be the worst yarn you've ever had, and I don't want to be held liable for that just because I said I like it a lot. So that's always recommend that you just buy one, give it a go, and test it out. Could be the best yarn you ever had, or the worst. Only you know that. But for me, I love it. So I'll see you on my next video. Okay. All right. Bye, guys.